So this is a Greek shrimp and pasta dish, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my linguine into some boiling water. Linguine, spaghetti, or if you're in a real hurry, angel hair pasta is my go-to dish. So if you're coming home from a really long day and you want to treat the family to a special dinner that'll really make you feel like a rock star, go for the angel hair pasta. It's like 8 minutes or less, and that pasta is done. And this is one of those dishes, kid you not, you're going to see how quickly it comes together. And you'd pay like 25 to 30 bucks per entree for this out at a restaurant. All right, so pasta is in. I'm just going to season my water a little bit. Whoops. That's all right. A little bit of salt in the skillet, not a bad thing. Now I've got some olive oil. And I'm going to do some shrimp. Shrimp is a great, it can be expensive if you go out and eat it at a restaurant. In fact, I love shrimp. However, I found a way to serve my family shrimp and do it on the cheap side. And that is I buy the 2-pound bags of uncooked, usually I buy the pre-peeled shrimp. And then I keep it in my freezer, and when I need a real quick go-to fix and want to do something special, craving shrimp at home, I just pull out what I need when I need it. And if I don't think about it in the morning, what I do is I'll just pull it out after work quick and then throw some cold running water over it, and it thaws out in no time. Thaws out very, very quickly. So this recipe, you don't need a whole ton of shrimp. Of course, if you want to use a lot of shrimp, you could use a pound, pound and a half, but you can get away with using a whole lot less. So I'm just placing my uncooked peeled shrimp in my skillet with my olive oil, and if you notice, I'm placing the shrimp around the pan, not right next to each other, so that it'll actually get a little color on it. Color is flavor. And this is going to cook very, very quickly. And because we're going to have that pasta, like I said, we don't need a whole ton of shrimp. That's why this dish is very budget friendly. But it's going to look kind of fancy, kind of special. And it's a light dish. I don't have any cream. I don't have any butter in this dish, but it's still going to have some really nice flavor. Okay, get to work on some garlic. You could certainly cheat and use the jarred garlic, which is A-OK in my book. It's a good shortcut. Starting to smell really good. You see how quick this shrimp cooks? Already starting to turn pink, so I'm just going to flip it over at this point. It's got some nice color on it. Getting kind of caramelized, which makes it a little bit sweet. Okay, in goes my garlic. Now you know the rule with garlic. Once you get it in there, you really got to keep it moving or else it'll burn and that'll ruin the whole dish. So you just kind of move it around until you can start to smell it and it smells fantastic, and then we're time to start adding the rest of the ingredients. So I've got some really pretty grape, or you could use cherry tomatoes, and I found them in gold and red. So I thought, hey, we'll brighten things up. I'm just adding a little more olive oil because I could tell we needed it. But I thought, oh, it's going to look so pretty with the yellow and the red tomatoes. But if you just had red or just wanted to get red, that's fine too. All right, now we're going to start deglazing the pan. And we're also going to give this some great seasoning. I'm using a Greek seasoning, and in the Greek seasoning, you can just buy this already blended for you. It's got things like salt and pepper and oregano and a little bit of onion powder. Sometimes it'll have some garlic and lemon. Greek flavors, I think of, oregano and garlic. Then you can do a little bit of extra salt and pepper if you wanted to. All right, now we need to hit this pan with some liquid to get the great bits off the bottom. So I use a combination of chicken stock, or you could do veggie stock if you wanted to keep this vegetarian. So about 3/4 of a cup. I'm going to make a really light sauce to toss that pasta in. So 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock, and then I'm doing 1/4 of a cup of dry white wine. I get questions all the time about why do you cook with wine? Well, wine adds wonderful flavor without adding a lot of fat and calories. So it's a great way to add the flavor. And now that this is simmering, it's actually the alcohol is going to cook off. So you're just left with some really nice flavor. If you don't want to cook with wine, you could certainly just leave it out. Okay, now it's time to start adding the rest of our ingredients. I'm doing some artichoke hearts. This is just one small jar of artichoke hearts. I'm also doing these are just Kalamata olives, which are Greek black olives. You want to make sure and get the pitted black olives. You can cut them in half or you don't have to. It's up to you. Now I've got some fresh parsley to just finish the dish. Giving this a rough chop. So you can see the bright colors that we've got in here and a lot of really nice flavor too. Something a little different to do for a quick weeknight fix, or if you want to do, date night in or a special dinner over the weekend, this would be perfect. I know a lot of us during Lent can't eat meat, so if you've had your share of Friday night fish fries, which can get really crowded during Lent, this would be a very nice dish to make. And if you can see as this reduces down, it actually starts to get a little bit thicker, but it's not going to be a real thick sauce. It's just going to be enough to kind of coat our pasta. All right, our pasta is done. I don't want to overcook it. And again, I'm using linguine, but spaghetti would work fine. Really, any kind of pasta would work in this dish. As I mentioned, angel hair is something I always keep on hand in my pantry because it is, you need dinner in a really quick, real hurry. Angel hair is going to be your quickest to cook. Linguine and spaghetti next up. The pennes and some of the other pastas take a little bit longer to cook. So in goes our pasta. And those tomatoes start to cook a little bit and get really nice and sweet. I love to serve this with a nice salad, maybe even a Greek salad would be lovely. Just any kind of a nice green salad. And then you could certainly do some crusty bread for dipping. I want to get some of the artichoke hearts and the olives. And then I like to finish this dish. And don't be afraid to wipe the plate. That is what all my chef friends do with a clean kitchen towel. So you just simply, we've got it on a really pretty white plate. And if you're serving this plated for your family, I mean, normally for my family, I just take that right to the table and serve it right out of the skillet. But if you wanted to make it look fancy. And then I'm going to top this with a little bit of feta cheese, and sticking with our Greek theme. And this is one of those cheeses where a little dab will do you. You don't need a whole ton. So it's still going to be very light. Blue cheese, Parmesan, and feta, if you just use a little bit, it'll still, you'll get your cheese fix. And then a little bit of chopped fresh parsley just to kind of finish the dish. Pretty, huh? And kind of fancy too. Super quick and really inexpensive to make. And you can get the recipe, by the way, on our website, fox11online.com. Click on the Living tab and recipes, and they'll be right there. Coming up, more recipes for less. We're going to show you how to do beef tenderloin on a budget and some great new chicken recipes, too. So stay with us. We'll be back.